intriguing mystery of the 20th century is the Dyatlov Pass incident. This resulted in the death of 9 Russian hikers in an unexplained manner. This happened in the northern Ural Mountains in Feb 1959. The injuries sustained by these hikers were signature injuries inflicted by mines. This was supported by the theory of reported sightings of glowing orbs descending from the sky. They had traces of radioactivity in their clothing. Their faces had turned orange. Their hairs had become grey, and they were severely underdressed for sub-zero temperatures. Nobody knows how they ended up in that state. Bermuda Triangle is another wonder to the world. The boundaries of Bermuda Triangle can be formed by drawing imaginary lines from Melbourne to Florida, to Bermuda to Puerto Rico, back to Florida. In this triangle, more than 200 planes, boats, and ships have disappeared. An interesting fact is that no distress signal was ever received from any of the disappearing ships or boats. Another mystery is that of the dark matter. Galaxies, stars, planets, and asteroids make up just 5% of the total universe. Scientists believe that approximately 25% of the universe is made up of dark matter. They act like spiders' web, holding all the moving galaxies together. They may be made up of some undiscovered particle, but nobody knows about it till now. Puzzling ancient paintings have been found in the nearby town of Charma, Chhattisgarh in India. These paintings depict flying discs and humanoids with faceless features. Nearby village has a legend that small alien-like creatures landed from the sky in round disc-shaped objects and kidnapped the villagers. There's another town in India known as Kuladara. Hundreds of years ago, this was a very prosperous town until one fateful night when all its 1,500 residents just disappeared without a trace. This town is uninhabited even now. They also say that anyone who tries to stay here dies a brutal death. Dear Toastmasters, will we ever find a definite conclusion or answer to all these mysteries? The future remains to answer this question. Moving on, I would like to call our grammarian of today, Toastmaster Satya, to give us the word of the day.
Good day to you, dear Toastmasters. The word of the day is enigma, which means a puzzling or inexplicable occurrence or situation. If I were to put it in a sentence, I can say Satya's disappearance on that particular day is an enigma which has given rise to too much of speculation. Over to TMOD.
Thank you, Toastmaster Satya. I feel that life itself is an enigma. Moving on to our prepared speeches session. Now I would like to call our first evaluator, Rosie, to read out the project guidelines.
Okay, Dr. Liz, your objective today is to develop a plan and then build a team, and together you let me check. Sorry about that. Where's the speech objective?
It is the second part. I'd already developed a plan. So
develop a plan, build a team, and fulfill the plan with the help of the team. Yeah, that's it. Over to you.
I hope I'm audible. I'm using another gadget. Okay.
Cannot see your face.
You can see my face?
Yeah. Cannot see your face. Maybe you up. No, no, the other way around.
No, little bit up you have to.
Up a bit. Okay, great,
Yeah.
Okay,
great.
thank you. I always felt that my mama was an enigma. A woman worth her salt must be self-sufficient. This is one of the many lessons that she taught me that has remained not only engraved in my mind, but also in my heart. I believe in fending for myself and meeting my basic needs. If I have to receive anything from another person's hand, let it be a gift, but not alms. Toastmasters and guests, we are living at a time when everyone feels and believes that having what Kenyans call a side hustle is a must in order to comfortably pay bills and live a decent life. I don't know what your side hustle is. For me, I toyed with the idea of having a side hustle for a long time. I had so many options, from a bakery to a fast food restaurant to poultry project, just to name a few. Finally, I landed on a poultry project. Why? Because of several reasons. First, I would do it from the comfort of my home and without stretching my already overstretched budget. Secondly, I had space and helping hands. And thirdly, I found it a cheaper investment. After the initial planning, I was now ready to start. My expectations were high. The incubator arrived in good time, and having been sourced from a friend of mine, I was almost sure that it was perfect. My cousin sister gave me 30 fertilized eggs from her own poultry farm. I was assured of electricity, and after all, the incubator would automatically revert to solar in case of electricity failure. I already knew where to source for my feeds. Immediately the eggs hatched, and for workers, my faithful servant Samuel and my house help Pamela had not shown any sign of not being part of the plans. So from my projection, I was upbeat. Soon I was going to have 100 chicken and more. To me, 100 was a magic coveted number. Everything started off very well. The incubator was running according to me. I kept the humidity and temperature as per the instruction manual. Electricity never failed even once for the 3 weeks. I also did not make any journey out of town that would take me away from my home for more than 12 hours. To my surprise and amazement, after 21 days, there were no signs of any chick hatching. I decided to give it 3 more days, then 4, then 5, then a week. Nothing happened. That was the time I realized that something had gone wrong. My first response was to call the person who supplied the incubator. From his voice, I realized that things were not right. Eggs should not take more than 30 days in the incubator, he shouted. Then he started his battery of questions. Did you have constant supply of power? Yes, but you also said that the incubator would automatically revert to solar. I replied, I was definitely not ready for this heartbreak. Did you constantly check the temperature and humidity at the right levels? Yes, I did. In fact, I was the only person who checked on this. Were the eggs running? I hadn't expected this. Running? No, actually not running, but turning. I didn't know that the eggs were supposed to be turned. Did you not see the rollers? What rollers are you talking about? But where did you place the eggs? On the white trays. Did you see that the trays were cylindrical? Yes, but you did not tell me that I was supposed to put the eggs on them. We were getting exasperated by each other. The best thing was to accept that my expectations were going to break my heart. My project was a non-starter. That wasn't what I had expected. I didn't want to hear anything from the other end. I also did not want to be rude. I wondered, how would I end this conversation? Thankfully, my credit ran out. I didn't call back. He didn't call me back either. I began to count my losses. What was my major lesson? Don't allow your heart to break because of high expectations. Conrad Hilton says, successful men and women keep moving. They make mistakes, but they don't quit. Toastmasters and guests, for every project, I would want to advise you from my own experience, have plan B. If not B, you can also add plan C and plan D or even plan E, because even the very well planned projects can often turn away. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Dr. Elizabeth. Please give her a big round of applause. Don't let your heart break because of high expectation and just keep on moving without quitting. That was a great message, Dr. Elizabeth. I'm going to go and draw my plan B, C, and D after this meeting. Next up, I would like to call our evaluator to Teresa to read out the project guidelines.
Okay. So our second speaker, Alice Ann, is speaking from the dynamic leadership, and she is working in level 3, negotiate the best outcome. Her purpose of this project is for her to learn about different types of negotiation and strategies that can be used when negotiating. And the purpose of the speech is for her to share some aspect of a past or future negotiation in her life. Her time is 5 to 7 minutes. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Teresa. Please give a big round of applause to her. Please continue giving the applause to our next speaker, Dr. Alice Ann, 37/39. 37/39, Dr. Alice Ann.
Thank you so very much. 37, 39. 37 is the number of years I've been married. 39 is the number of years I've been with my husband. Those have been negotiating years. And I remember the very first major negotiation we made was the night my husband proposed. He asked me and I said yes on one condition. And he said, "You got conditions?" Yes, we're talking about the rest of my life. What's your condition? I would say yes if you promised me 50 plus years. He got serious, looked at me. "Baby, I can't promise you 50 years. My mouth dropped, but the next thing he said melted my heart. "I can't promise you 50 years, but I can promise you a lifetime." I'll take that. Then he said, "Well, if we back in conditions around, I got a condition." "What's your condition?" No matter what we face, no matter how we face it together. Divorce is not an option. Let me think. You need to think. You don't get a divorce. I get a lifetime. Win-win for me. Yes. That has been our negotiation since day one. We were sitting in his apartment at a table. We still have that table, and we actually named it the negotiation table. Our agreement for negotiations is this: whatever we bring to the table, we have to be respectful for one another and hear each other's out. But not only that, we have two questions. Whatever we bring to the table, the first question is it a need or is it a want? And the second question, is that realistic? By the time we get through with the initial negotiation, those two questions need to be answered. It's not necessarily just a need for me or a need for him, but is it a need for our family? Is it realistic for me? Is it realistic for him? Or is it realistic for our family? I must admit, I've come to the table with some unrealistic expectations. I've come to the table with some want. Wasn't necessarily a need, it was a want, however. But we settled the ground rule and it is our foundation. Is it a need or is it a want? And is it realistic? We've also determined that we will not leave the table angry. I think I've broken that rule a couple of times. But the other person must remain at the table till we come back, because we cannot leave the table angry. And even if I've gotten up and stormed away, he will sit there and he'll call me back to the table. You know the rule, cannot leave angry. Okay, I'll come back. Now the days that he's walked away angry, I have to let him be angry until he calms down. And then he comes back to the table. When we first got married, people used to say, where's your helpmeet? Where's your helpmate? Where is she? Oh, I cringed at that term. I was not a helpmate. Animals mate. People meet. And my husband took that whole parameter, because that was where I stood, and decided the negotiation table will be the table that we meet. We bring everything to the table, every decision to the table. Doesn't matter. But we come there with the mindset of having the needs met. I've learned I might not leave the table with what I want, but I would definitely leave with what I need. We hashed out a whole lot. And even now that he's sick, and most of the time in the bed, it's bedridden, I bring the table and lay it next to the side of the bed. And we still have our negotiation. We still talk about what's best for either one of us and what's best for me. The only thing that's never been brought to the table was divorce. That was not an option. So we could never bring it to the table. We didn't even joke about divorce. That was the one thing he was sure of, and I wanted to honor that. Divorce is not an option. I didn't need. That's not something I needed. So that was never brought to the table. That was not something I ever wanted. Never brought to the table. But I must admit, I have left the table with some of the things I wanted. Wasn't a need, but it was negotiated, and I got some of my wants. If you're getting married, or if you're already married, if you have any relationship with anyone, learn an art negotiation. It worked for me. On Wednesday, September the 1st, we'll celebrate our 37th year of marriage. Lasted that long because we understood the art of negotiating for the best outcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Alisan. Is there a need or is there a want? Is it realistic? Thank you for teaching us two important questions which we need to ask ourselves for learning the art of negotiation. Now let us move on to our next session, which is the table topic or the impromptu session. I would like to invite our table topic for master for today, the mysterious DTM Somish. Please give a big round of applause.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster, for introducing us with an enigmatic meeting today. In terms of the table topics, I wanted to do two things today. One was a normal table topic session, and another was in terms of solving a mystery. So in terms of the normal table topics, let's start with a question. How many of you have heard about mentalists? Mentalist? You know what mentalists are? Okay, I can tell what a mentalist is. They got special kind of talent in the sense that they would ask you some question and you would just think it in mind, and they would actually be able to tell what you're thinking, and they will give the answer. For example, they will ask you to just in your mind, you think about your best vacation, your famous hero, and your best book. And you will think that in the mind, and the mentalist will actually read your mind, and the mentalist will actually say that this is where you thought you want to go on vacation, this is your favorite hero, and this is the best book. And they will actually do it in front of huge audience. I don't know how they do. So any thoughts on that? Probably who wants to go? Does anyone want to take that? Maybe I'll go that way. Anyone wants to answer what your thoughts are on mentalist? How do they do it? Or what are your thoughts? Maybe I will ask someone who has not done a role. Okay, Elizabeth, please. Liz, Akini, please go ahead.
When I first met a mentalist, he was actually my student. These very, very good students who will come and help you set up almost everything. I was struggling to operate video in my classroom, and here he was, very willing to assist me. And so he assisted me and the class was over. But after some time, he came to me and I started a conversation with him. He asked me, have you ever encountered a mentalist? And I told him, who is a mentalist? Then he told me, okay, I'm asking you a question, and even before you give me the answer, I will have given you the answer. And he asked me, what is the name of your firstborn brother? Before I answered, he said, Peter. Then he told me again, he asked me a second question. What is the name of how many sons do you have? Then he said, one. Then before he went to the third question, I was now frightened. I did not want to be exposed. I didn't know what else he was going to ask. And I was so curious to find out, where do you get the powers to get all the information? And he told me, I am going to send you some material so that you read. But I was scared. I was scared of finding the unknown. And I wondered, he did actually send the materials, but I never read. Fortunately or unfortunately, the semester ended. And because we deal with a large number of students, I have never got to know more about my mentalist.
Thank you very much, Dr. Akeni. Great answer. Anyone else wants to volunteer? No? Okay. Okay, Sabaria, you want to go ahead? Please go ahead. Please unmute.
So, this is a table topic, is it? I want to know about mentalists because I don't know about mentalists. But what I know is people who are using their third brain, because it is known that we have right. It's not known. It is a fact that we have right brain and left brain, and we uses both the brain in terms of creativity and also in terms of logic. Okay, but there is such thing as the middle brain. The middle brain is where they work into their brains, and they'll be able to read books without even opening it. They can see things without even behind the wall. and they can tell to you how you feel and what you're going to answer them. But I didn't know this person has a mentalist, but I know this person has someone who uses their middle brain. And it is a knowledge or it's a skill that they practices. They uses wave, they uses music, and they practice on it. And it is a skill. They even can color. You give them pictures and they can color without even opening their eyes. They have their eyes closed in black cloth and they paint and they color and painted it very, very well. And I have a person with me who is just like that. He's my grandson. He's 14 years old and he can do it. And he has been through, he has have that skill already. And when someone find out, the person want to train him furthermore. And he's so intelligent and he's so brilliant that I can't handle him. And I don't know whether this is good or bad because he's too far ahead of me. God, I wish I can find someone who can explain to me how to deal with his brilliantness, with his extrovert things, and it's always answering way ahead of me. In fact, when we want to tell something or we want to guess something, he will tell us what it is about. God, back to you, table topic master.
Thank you very much, Sabriya. Yes, whenever this happens in front of us, we just are mesmerized by it. It's really enigmatic. And we just think, how does this happen? Even magic, if someone is great at if a great magician is performing in front of us, when they do that, we think, how is this happening? Is there an explanation to this? Of course, there is explanations because everything is based on talent. So yes. Now, next question in terms of the enigmatic, mysterious thing that we are experiencing as a topic today is in terms of telepathy. How many of you have heard about telepathy? Telepathy means you're able to communicate with someone else who is very close to you through your thoughts. So when you are feeling something bad, the other person is experiencing that. And when you're happy and elated, the other person is experiencing it. And you're able to communicate your thought through that way. What are your thoughts on telepathy? You want to go ahead, Satya, please? Thank you. And Rosie after that.
Thank you, DTM Samesh. Telepathy, as far as I understand, it is not an enigmatic topic at all. It's rather very simplistic. I can relate to telepathy essentially when I talk to my wife, when we discuss in the morning what she needs to rather prepare for the day. Many times I think about very delicious vegetarian food, which I am, and I try and explain to her, this is what I want today, whether I'm not sure what is there in the kitchen, the raw material for preparing the day's dish, breakfast or lunch. But somehow my wife has such a brilliant kind of a brain, like what Sabriya mentioned, the right brain and the left brain. I understand it a little differently. There is also a brain in the behind. It seems that is the animal brain. And the one that is called, I think, not prefrontal, somewhere in the back. And there is one more prefrontal brain, which is analytical, which is very fast, telepathical, or whatever you say, they can understand, read the mind of the other. Essentially, when you're in love with each other, when you like each other, the persons, they can relate with each other very, very well, in fact. So what usually happens, that whenever I try and say that I want to have this dish this morning or in the afternoon, my wife comes as though she knows, she can read my mind. She can telepathically understand what I want to tell her. So that way, we are a very happy partner. We have been married 1981 or 82, quite a long time, 40 years now. But we are a very happy couple because of this kind of a telepathic kind of a discussion we have in our minds many times, not only in the morning, breakfast, lunch, or whatever, but many other decisions that we take are commonly kind of a shared. Over to DTM Samesh. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Satya. Thank you for sharing your insights on telepathy. And Rosianna, you want to go ahead? Thank you.
Thank you, table topic master. Yes, I will agree with Satya on that telepathic. But recently, I read something interesting about telepathic and all. And it's just like, have you heard of this word, a vibration, they call it? And in fact, when there's a vibration, all of us around us, they have vibration. And sometimes when you're thinking of somebody and you pay attention to it, to little thing, you can become telepathic. And if you pay enough attention, you can try it on your own. You pay enough attention, you will become a telepathic and you can read people's mind as well. You can try it and discover it by yourself because they say it's like vibration. Everything is vibration. And it's also the same as when you say like you want to sell your car and then suddenly your car broke down. This is also like, it's like vibration that they like the car can hear you, but it's actually a vibration. And this is also from the book that I read, which is Think and Grow Rich. And this is also that part where we call it the sixth sense, the sixth sense. And actually we all can develop a sixth sense if we pay enough attention. For example, you want to go to an interview, you just put yourself into that person's shoes, and then you come to the mind that is also like third mind, like what Sabaria said. It's actually true, you know, you try it. So the night before you go for an interview or you want to meet your client, try to be on their shoes. And when you meet them, and actually it's just like jive or something like that. And like Satya with the wife, because they are like together all the time and it's paying attention to each other, it's also like a magnet, like in the end it's become like your telepathy. And if sometimes it's a vibration, like you think of somebody and they're also thinking about you. And it is all about vibration. And we do not know, you know, like the phone, if we call, you know, over like what we have right now, Zoom call, and it can like happening like that. So I hope you understand that it's all about vibration. I think that's all. Back to you, Samesh. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rosie. Absolutely. And vibration is quite there is no enigma there, I would say, in terms of the vibration part. We can experience it on a day-to-day basis. If it's like a catch-22 situation, if someone is going through a bad phase in life, they feel dejected. It's natural because the outside is influencing us and we feel dejected. The way to come out of it is to try and come in inside out. What does that mean? It means that from inside, we try to access some kind of happiness, because there is no place where everything is bad and there is no place where everything is good. That is a part of this world that we are in. There would be goods and there would be bads. So try and access that small good, that whatever is there available, and bring that out when there are bad times. So this is what vibration is about, bringing in positive vibrations in negative times. If we can do that, then we are winners always. And that's the challenge that each and every one of us face on a day-to-day basis. Thank you very much, Rosianna, for that. Now I want to go to the second phase of our table topics, which is we have to solve a mystery. You might have noticed that Kathy hasn't come today in the meeting. And there is one member among us who has coaxed her to be with them. That member has coaxed her to be with them and not attend this meeting. So we need to find out who that member is who has done that. This is a mystery that we need to solve. And every member here has to deny that. You have to say that you have not coaxed Kathy to be at your place so that she misses this meeting. How will you do that? Where do we start from? Let's start from Liz maybe, and I will go down the screen like that on this order. Liz, can you prove or disprove that you have not hidden Kathy somewhere and that's why she's not attending the meeting?
Well, Mr. Topics Master, I haven't seen Kathy for ages, to be honest, and not been in communication with her. I see I put little things up on the WhatsApp, but that's about as far as it goes. Don't have any private conversations or anything. So no, sir, not me.
Okay, that was your reasoning. Thank you, Liz. Now we go to Teresa, do you want to prove or disprove, or what do you want to say? Generally, I think whoever is here, they have to say that they have not done it, and then each and every one of us have to vote in the end to find out who has actually done it. So there is one person who has done it.
Okay, so I did not ask Kathy to come and stay with me. We had chatted a bit about meeting and doing something together. However, no, it wasn't me that said, Kathy, I need you to be with me. And so I'm not sure where she is, and I haven't heard from her this morning at all. Maybe she got caught on the bridge coming over from the United States. Perhaps that's what happened if she was going to meet me. But as far as I know, we made the plan not to meet. Mr. Table Topics.
Thank you, Teresa. Kaushal, would you like to say something on that? Thank you.
Why, I had nothing to do with Kathy's not showing up to this meeting. Before this meeting, I sent her numerous reminders and encouragements to come to this meeting. So how could it be my fault that she is not here? In fact, I bet I know who is responsible. I think it was The Rock. The Rock is a slippery guy. He is wrapped up in secrets and enigmas, and I bet he is hiding the truth of Kathy's disappearance. So it's not me that's the problem here. I'm not the one responsible. I bet it's The Rock.
Thank you very much, Kaushal. You have actually given a clue as well. So, Rock, are you there? Would you like to say something about this? Kaushal thinks that you are the person who has kind of stopped Kathy from attending this meeting today, and she's at your place. What do you want to say?
Well, Mr. Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters and guest, I can neither confirm or deny that Kathy is here. It's really kind of up to what you guys think as to where she is at. As you know, we do both live in the United States, and I do have ties to where she is at. I can definitely understand why somebody would think that she would be here. However, you can kind of see the side of me on either side. She's not in camera view. Therefore, if she is here, she's probably pretty well hidden. I'll leave that up to you guys, though, if you think she is or isn't. I can definitely understand either way. Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you very much, Rock. You have made this enigma even more puzzling now by saying that you probably have Kathy at your place. That's interesting. Okay, who else? I'll check. Maybe Dr. Alisan, do you want to say something on this?
Kathy, I think she's here just in incognito. I think she just wants to hear us talk about her. See what we will say behind her back. See who really knows her and knows about her. But I think she's somewhere hiding and she hears what we're saying and chuckling to herself saying, they don't know where I am, but I am here in the place. It is amazing how we can hide and still be around. I think we look around, she might be behind you. She might be hiding behind the curtain in this virtual world, but I think she is here. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, Mr. Topic Master.
Thank you very much, Dr. Alex. And you have brought in an element of more mystery into this now. Interesting. Okay, we'll probably go to Anvita then and ask her what her thoughts are.
I have definitely not convinced Kathy to stay back from the meeting. I mean, how can I? I didn't have internet throughout the whole day. I don't even have internet now. I don't know what is the issue. Maybe it is raining from 3 days here in Bangalore. That might be the reason. I mean, no internet at all. I couldn't even order food. I had to go without food during lunch break because of it. And please note, I have not blurred my background because Kathy is hiding here. I have just blurred it because I have some unwashed clothes hanging there. I have not blurred because of it. And no internet at all. Oh my God, how can I survive? Today is the day I have realized how difficult it is to survive without internet. Technology is really a boon. Internet really makes our life so simple. Having said that, I think I'm diverting the topic, but coming back to the topic, I have really not convinced Kathy because I don't have internet at all. And even right now, I do not have internet, and I swear on all the holy books, I do not have internet right now, and I am not the culprit. Back to what TTM Somesh.
Thank you very much. We have Sabaria, Satya, and Dr. Elizabeth left, and Grace said that she doesn't want to participate in the topic, so I respect that, Grace. Would you like to go ahead quickly? Sabaria, Satya, and Dr. Akini, quickly.
Yeah, can I go ahead?
Okay,
please?
Satyaji, yes.
Right, thanks. At least I have not coaxed or coerced or tried to impress upon, what is the name? I forgot, sorry, I keep forgetting the name. Who is the person who we are talking about? Kathy, to not to appear today or be busy elsewhere. I would have liked to do that. In fact, I would have liked to invite her to Bangalore, shown her all the scenic places, and rather I would have also missed this day's program session and go around with Kathy to show her the beautiful city that we live in. Be that as it may, I think that since Grace has opted out not to speak on today, I think she is hiding Kathy. Am I right, Grace? Over to table topic master.
Would Sabaria and Dr. Akini, would you like to quickly say as well? And then
Okay.
we can find who is the person.
Kathy and I are very close. We chat a lot. We exchange notes a lot because we're in the same industry. We love fitness. We love to run. We love to jog. We love to dance. We love to do gym. That's our first love. And I know Kathy loves public speaking, but that is a second love. But no way I will hide or tell Kathy not to come, because this is our love. Public speaking, we just love it. So it's not me who hide Kathy or push Kathy or hide Kathy in the gym. It can't be me. It must be Grace. Back to you.
Yes.
I don't know what is wrong with all of you. This is Kathy. You cannot see that this is Kathy seated here. What do you want me to do to make you know that this is Kathy? I have tried to explain to you that Kathy is seated right here. What is your problem? I think you must all be having a problem. Either you can't see or your eyes have a problem. In this case, I'll make sure that next time I bring in an ophthalmologist to look at all your eyes, because definitely there's a problem. This is Kathy. Back to you, TMOD.
Wonderful. Lots of wonderful imaginations by everyone. Congratulations, everyone. Right, so we need to vote now. Okay, I think, Rosie, you wanted to say something about that? I think we did not get to you. No? Okay. Okay, we need to vote now. So who do you think is, there is a person who has actually, like we agreed in the beginning that this person, this is all role play, as you know. It's just for fun. So who is that person? Who do you, for Rosie, who do you say is the person?
Do you mean who is the person who's hiding Kathy?
Yes.
I think it's Kausha.
Okay.
Because it's just like
Liz, yourself?
I think it's Therese.
Okay. Grace, do you want to just say a name maybe?
Pardon?
Do you want to say a name? Who do you think is a person?
I think Anvita.
Okay. Teresa, who do you think is the person? You're not guessing? You don't want to guess, is it?
Who are you
Okay.
asking? Who are you asking?
Who is the person who is hiding, Kathy? No,
Oh, no,
everyone
who
is
are you?
told.
Yeah,
Sorry?
who are you asking now?
To you, Teresa.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Yes.
I didn't hear my name. Well, I think so much that you are hiding her
Okay.
behind your
Sabri,
screen.
thank you. Okay, Sabria.
Must be Somesh because you are the one who
Okay.
knows and you are asking us.
Rock. Do you want to take a guess, Rock?
I think it's me, but
Okay. Dr. Akini. Dr. Akini.
It's Rock.
Rock. Okay. Satya.
I think I changed my stance from Grace to Somesh.
Okay.
ETM Somesh is
Kaushal.
hiding up.
Kaushal.
I agree that it's you, Samesh. You're the
Okay.
one who is trying to deflect guilt by asking everyone else, so it has to be you.
Dr. Allison.
I agree. It must be you.
Okay. I'm not asking Anvita because that's her. So we end the table topic now. So thank you all very much for your participation. It's been amazing doing this table topics with you. Over to you,
Who's hiding,
Toastmaster
Kathy?
of the day. Are you there, Anvita? Toastmaster?
Yeah, sorry, I was just speaking to Kathy, so I was late. Sorry. Now I would like to hand it to our general evaluator, DTM Kaushal.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. We will now be heading into the evaluation portion of the meeting. And to begin that, we will have our speech evaluations. The first speaker was Elizabeth, and her evaluator is Rosie. So Rosie, could you please provide us your evaluation of Elizabeth's speech?
Sure, Mr. General Evaluator. You start by grabbing our attention with your story of your mom, and you use the word of the day, which is enigma. Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and especially Dr. Lizzie, thank you for delivering that enigmatic, heartbroken project speech. You delivered the speech under the project developing a plan, build a team, then fulfill it with your team. I really enjoyed that you got us interested into side hustles. And now this is the time where a lot of us thinking about side hustles. Now we're at home and there's a lot of things going on. And you were actually ventured into that egg hatching, if I'm not mistaken, which is quite rare. So that get me to be more interested in your project. And then you express well in your speech by having that pink phone of yours when you call that some suppliers there. And then everything is nice because all your Zoom frame is there. And so it's very nice. But I think more important than that is how is it like to improve further. And I see only one thing is that the project says that there's three parts to the project. First is that you develop a plan, and then you have a team, and together you fulfill the project with the team. But right now I don't see the team. I don't see your team. Where your team? You know, probably you have some people to help you with the buying the chicken and the eggs and that part maybe. So that's the only thing that I didn't see, the team that you have. And apart from that, everything I like to see. So you have everything. You share. I would like to see that you make just improvement on that having the team. in summary, remember the second aspect of your the speech, which is your team, and of course the rest are just nice. Everything is nice. So you at first you ask us to adjust your screen, and it is just perfect because you ask us, and then you adjust it, and everything is perfect, and I can see your gesture, everything. And if you just add that part where you have yourself, your team, and you have the plan is perfect, and it's interesting too. Back to you, general evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rosie. That was a good evaluation of Elizabeth's speech. I liked how you pointed out some details I had not even thought about, such as having that team there and the details about the team. Something I would also add is that Elizabeth spoke with a lot of enthusiasm and power in her speech. I would now like to ask the next evaluator to provide an evaluation. Our second speaker was Alice Ann, and providing the evaluation of that speech is Teresa. So Teresa, please provide your evaluation.
Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, guest, and especially Reverend Dr. Alice Ann. Thank you so much for your wonderful advice on having a relationship and sustaining a relationship. So during your speech, you were to share with us some type of negotiation that you have done in your life. And of course, that is probably the most important negotiation that many of us have done in our lifetime. And you started telling us about how it was a win-win situation. And so we know that win-win is definitely one of the strategies. We also felt that you were talking directly, well, I felt you were talking directly to us in such a conversational mode, like we were sitting around a table having coffee. And I think that is the best, especially when giving out advice. You effectively and creatively, as I said, reflected on this win-win strategy. And you gave us what we need to move forward if we do it when we are or experiencing difficulty. You also excelled at the change of speakers, your voice change to give us an idea of who was speaking, you or your husband. Definitely good vocal variety and an excellent use of language, especially when you said about 50 years, you had wanted 50 years and he had responded with a lifetime. And I thought that was quite an excellent way to show that. So something that you might want to work on is perhaps sending in your speech information to the Toastmaster of the day or to Anvita, or actually putting it on the website, because it really helps your evaluator to know or to have the evaluation and not have to look for it as the meeting is progressing. And I thought also that during your speech, there could have been a slight pause perhaps between some of the speakers. Not all the time, but there could have been a slight pause, even though you made that voice change, just to emphasize it a little bit more. And something that you could work on, I think, was if you moved back a bit from the camera. I felt that you were so close to the camera, and that when you did lean in, it was like to emphasize a point. I felt that it wasn't, as emphasized. And so all in all, I really appreciate your negotiation table, that idea, and knowing the questions about what you need to do to have the win-win strategy happen in our lives. Thank you. Alisan.
Thank you very much, Teresa. That was great how you pointed out not just how this Alisan's speech provided negotiation strategies, but was also given in a dynamic way with the changing voices. I would now like to ask our timer, Liz, to please provide her report of our times today.
Thank you so much, Mr. General Evaluator. In general, everyone's done pretty well. Our two speakers, Elizabeth did her speak in 6 minutes and 6 seconds. That was absolutely fabulous. And Dr. Alisan did hers in 6 minutes and 45. Everyone was in time with the table topics. Again, Dr. Liz 144, Sabrina 209, Sathiem 206, and Rosie 210. The table topics section per se did go over by about 10 minutes, but we loved it. We still don't know where Kathy is and who's nicked her, but wonderful, wonderful thing. The evaluators, Rosie, 2 minutes and 50, and Therese, 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Bang on time. Back over to you. We are a little bit behind with 2 minutes to close. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Liz, for not just reporting the times, but also pointing out that we did run over time on some aspects and we are close to running out of time. So I would now like to ask Satya to please provide his grammarian report, please.
Thank you, G. The grammarian report is a little bit lengthy this evening, today. The word of the day has been used by several speakers, significantly by Somesh 5 times. Others have used it once are Elizabeth, Rosiana, and Kaushan. The outstanding words that I like today is incubator arrived in good time, a battery of questions, exasperated by each other, chuckling to herself, mentalist, vibration or positive vibration, vibrant thoughts. I also heard a quote, successful men and women keep moving, and sayings, let it be a gift and not arms. I also heard an anaphora, no matter what we face, no matter how we face, no matter what comes, we face it together. Very well said, Dr. Alisan. Then also heard metaphors or simile, like try to be in your shoes. So all in all, and also finally, Teresa, alliteration, win-win strategy. Well done, all of you. Thank you very much. DTM Somesh, back to you. Sorry, General Evaluator Kaushan, back to you.
Thank you, Satya. That was a really good way to reinforce the interesting words and grammar we heard today. And thank you for teaching me the word anaphora. I would now like to ask Sabriel to provide her counter report.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. I'm Subaria, and my duty as our counter for the benefit of our guests is to listen properly to any glitches in a speech, example like u, double words, and things like that. And this is my humble report. I'm not so sure whether it is considered an R when we use it at the beginning of starting a word, a sentence. Like example, to explain about the project of the speech, Teresa did twice the RR. So I'm not so sure whether this is considered R, the glitches in the speech, because it's just starting. You're starting it and then you are not sure where's the project purpose. Same thing with Rosie. You also did that when you wanted to start the project, but to start to explain the project. Okay, now I'm very happy to say that I don't have a lot of R counters, but we have 2 record holders today. Of course, those who speak the most. Rosie, I don't understand why today you have a lot of double words. Rosie, you have a lot of double words, a total of 7. You have double yo-yo, the very, very nice, the, with the, the again, and then you repeated you yourself. You repeated that twice. You have 4 and you have 2 R's at the beginning of, that was the beginning of the project, and also R during the speech. Teresa, on the top of the 2 R's at the beginning of the project explanation, you had double words, which is I. And when you want to emphasize the evaluation, you go all in all, I. Okay, sometimes we want to emphasize something with double word, and that's considered not good in a speech, especially in advanced evaluation and advanced. Okay, now the rest, there's no R, no U, no ums. But I'm wondering who did my R counter when I was doing my table topic, so Mish, I forgot to tell someone to take my R counter. That's my report. Janet Evaluator, back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Samaria, for that detailed report. And I think you helped people catch verbal tangles that we don't even realize that we're making. I will now give my overall report of the meeting as quickly as possible, as we are over time. We had a really fun meeting today. We started 1 minute past the hour. Something that could help with that is, of course, all of us being here when the meeting is going to start. And if anyone can't make it to the meeting who is on the agenda or is going to run late, to send the Toastmaster of the meeting just a little message, just letting them know, so that we're not wondering where they are or having to find or wondering whether they need a substitute. Anita led the meeting with a lot of enthusiasm and encouragement as always. I really like the enigmatic theme of the meeting, and especially how this theme was brought out in the table topics, which was a lot of fun. Something that was done I liked is that for one of the speeches, the intro was posted in the chat. That I think helped the intro for Alisanne's speech be read more smoothly. So I think it's a good idea to have the intros in the chat, so for everyone's information, and to make sure that the introductions are done smoothly. That's all I had to say. Also, for the table topics, we had fun being involved in that very unique table topic, and it was a great way for everyone present to be involved. So great job there, Samesh. I will turn this meeting back over to the Toastmaster Anvita, please.
Thank you, DQM Kaushal. Please give him a big round of applause. Now I would like to hand it over to our President, DQM Somesh.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. Apologies for a little bit delay in our table topics today. I hope you enjoyed the session, even though it was delayed. In terms of the meeting, thank you so much. And I think, who else said, Anvita? I think Grace said that she found the right person. Who else? Did someone else say, Anvita?
No, I heard just Grace calling out
my name. So we have to give a big round of applause to Grace. She has kind of solved the mystery. She was the only one who solved the mystery, really. Congratulations, Grace. Well done.
Wow.
You want to say something, how you felt the meeting
went? How did you
guest,
Grace?
as a guest, how did you find, and would you like to join us?
You mean about the table topics?
The overall meeting, how did you feel? How did the meeting go?
I love this meeting. It was really amazing. Thank you so much. And I learned a lot of things, especially Dr. Alice and about the negotiate. I have learned something. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's always good to get a guest's perspective, because as members, we probably are biased towards our own club. So it's really good to get a perspective from someone who is coming from as a guest and trying to help us how we can improve the meeting. So all comments are welcome, Grace. Thank you very much. Thank you all so much for joining today. I think there was a discussion going on WhatsApp that there was World Championship of Public Speaking ongoing at the same time. So that was the reason why Ahmed and Kathy did not attend the meeting today. So it's quite interesting. I did not think that way. That's how it turned out to be. They were attending the World Championship of Public Speaking, and there is accredited speaker as well. I think some evaluation for that is also ongoing in the virtual convention. Thank you so much for joining today. And it's always a pleasure to be part of this enthusiastic group, enthusiastic club. And let's continue to make this enthusiasm even more in every meeting. Have a fun meeting. I think that's the most important thing. We learn, but at the same time, we have fun. So thank you so much for joining, and we can close this meeting for today. We just have a club meeting, the executive, the committee meeting.
Can I fill the roles so much?
Oh yes, please, yes. I'll stop the recording.